Sir, I'm authorized to offer you a 60-month loan that'll automatically lower your payment. So instead of cutting the deal, what am I doing here? I'm offering them 60 months. That'll automatically lower your payment. Mr. Customer, usually it'll lower the payment about $30. So if I could get your monthly investment down around $580 for 60 months, you do business right now? Now everybody pay attention to the psychology I'm using in the negotiation. I still did not ask the customer, what would you want to pay? Where they can make up their own number. I said, sir, if we go to 60 months, that'd probably be somewhere around $580. Would that do it? I'm still controlling what numbers they hear. Rather than say, what would you want to pay? And I'm saying, sir, if I could do it for 60 months at $580, it'll lower your payment about $30. I've got 611, somewhere around $580. If I could get down to $580, would you do business right now? And the customer says, $580? Oh, no, I need $450. Now they've told you a number. And believe me, the number they told you is higher than what it would have been had you not suggested $580. Am I making good sense, Wally? By the very fact that I suggested a higher number, I kept control of the numbers. The customer says, I need $450. Now this is called the if you had to bump. Everybody watch me, because it's a visual. When the customer says, I need $450, we're going to do the if you had to bump. Original Ziegler stuff again. First of all, you repeat their number back to them in a disbelieving voice. $450. And then you scowl. And you give them the you're a dumbass look. You got that? You just look at him and say, $450. Then you say, sir, if you had to, if it was necessary, could you go as high as 500? If you had to. You could if you had to? Sir, I think you're going to have to. That if you had to bump is worth $50 every time you try it. You repeat their number back, $450. Like you can't believe they said that. $450. And then you give them that look, $450. And then you say, sir, if you had to, ma'am, if you had to, if it's absolutely necessary, could you go as high as, say, 500? And they'll say, well, I suppose if I had to, sir, I believe you're going to have to. And you just write it down. Well, if I had to, sir, I believe you're going to have to. Now, this is the pinpoint. This is the pinpoint when the shopper becomes the buyer. $500 a month. If my manager will do that, if he'll agree to that, if she'll agree to that, will you own the car now at that figure? And the customer says, well, go see if your manager will do it. No, sir. No, ma'am, I will not go see if my manager will do it. That's your number. Do not take an uncommitted number to the desk. If that customer won't do it, don't take it to the desk. Mr. Customer, let me ask you, if my manager will do that, if you could own this car right now at your figure of $500 a month, will you own the car at that number? How many times have we not done that, Dave?
Too many.
Too many. Get the customer committed. Will you own the car at your own number? The customer says, well, go see if your manager will do it. $500 a month, is that your terms? Now watch what I'm doing. Everybody remember what we said about 3 hours ago. Mr. Customer, about a half hour ago, I asked you if you could own this car on your own terms, would you own it now? And you told me you would. $500 a month, is that your terms? Has anything changed since you originally made that commitment to me? Is this smooth? I mean, I'm taking their own words back to them. Remember I asked them earlier if you could own this vehicle on your own terms, would you own it now? And now you're saying $500, is that your terms? Would you own the vehicle if he does that? And the customer says, well, I'm not taking $17,456 for my trade. The customer says, wait a minute. I'm not taking 17,456 for my trade. Wait a minute. Heather, have you been listening intently? At any time in the last 20 minutes have I given this customer permission to go back to the trade? Anybody hear me tell the customer they could go back to the trade? We have an out-of-control customer trying to go back to the trade without salesperson authorization. That ain't gonna happen. Nobody told these people they could go back to the trade, and now here we've been negotiating on payments and down payment. He wants to go back to the trade. Watch what I do next. This is cool. Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer, let me assure you. Let me assure you. Let's see, I can't read that name. Is that Bridget? Bridget, let me assure you. Let me assure you that if it's even possible to get your monthly investment down as low as $500 a month, if that's even possible, my management will have to mathematically restructure all of these figures. We will have to do all new math. If it's even possible, no matter what payment that consumer wants, you create doubt that it's possible. Mr. Customer, let me assure you that if $500 a month is even possible to get your monthly investment down as low as $500 a month, whenever you refer to that payment they want, it is down and as low. Mr. Customer, let me assure you that if it's even possible to get your monthly investment down as low as $500 a month, if that's even possible, we'll have to do all new mathematics. These figures will change. What I'm asking you is if my management can structure these figures any way, shape, or form to get your monthly investment down as low as $500, if that's even possible, will you own the car at that figure? Yeah. You will? Great. Write me that check for $5,819. And they go, yeah, man. And you say, what seems to be the problem? I ain't got $5,819. That's the other damn thing I want to talk to you about. You know. Now, do I really want this customer to have a blood pressure issue? No. The first time they mentioned the $5,800, had it done its job? Yes. Okay, they're definitely paying attention to the down payment now. And down payment is necessary to keep them from being upside down 3 years from now. And to make higher profit. So I say to the customer says, I don't have $5,819 down. I say, no problem. No problem, sir. The banks do not require 20% down. Ideally, that's what they would like to see for the best programs, ideally. I can certainly obtain financing for you with less down payment. Now, have I taken all the blood pressure and heartburn out of the customer at this point? Are they calm again, Bridget? Oh, you have less down payment? No problem. The banks do not require 20% down. That's just ideally what they would like to see for the best financial programs. I just sort of announced you're not getting the best financial package. Ideally, that banks would like to see 20% cash down payment for the best programs. I can certainly obtain financing for you with less down payment. I didn't say no down payment. With less down payment, I can certainly obtain financing for you. Now listen, this is the keyword track coming up. How close to that can you come up with? You never ask a customer how much down payment they have. You show them your number, and when they say they haven't got it, you say, I can certainly obtain financing with less down payment. How close to that can you come up with? If you're a fisher person, I'm so socially correct, a fisher person, listen to me. If you're a fisherman or a fisherwoman, I don't know how to work that. Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, if you go fishing, no matter what sex you are, and you let the rod tip down, will the fish get off the hook? Okay, keep your rod tip up on that down payment. Don't let the pressure off that number. That's the benchmark. That's ideally what the banks would like to see. Sir, I can certainly obtain financing for you with less down payment. I don't even offer the option of no down payment. I can certainly obtain financing for you with less down payment. Is that a good word track? Less down payment. How close to that can you come up with? How much do you feel you're going to be short? Well, Mr. Ziegler, I could probably come up with $1,000. And you look at him and you say, $1,000? Sir, if you had to. If it was necessary, could you come up with $1,500? Well, I suppose if I had to, sir, I'm certain you're going to have to. And you write it down. Now, let me show you what you as a strong salesperson are going to do next. Don't be afraid of the numbers. Mr. Customer, let me be sure that I understand the agreement you are offering to my management. Did you catch that word track? Dragon, did you catch that?
Yes.
Let me be sure I understand what you're offering my management. Make the customer understand you're the one making the offer here, not us. Let me be sure I understand the agreement you are offering my management. Sir, you're telling me if I can get your monthly investment down as low as $500 a month with only $1,500 cash out of pocket, using your $3,000 rebate to facilitate that, regardless of how we have to do the math, if I can get your monthly investment down as low as $500 a month with only $1,500 cash out of pocket, using your $3,000 rebate to facilitate that, if I can achieve all of that, regardless of how he does the math, you'll own the car now. Is that the agreement?
That is the agreement.
Were there any shades of gray in what I just said to you, Dooley?
No.
So the customer is firmly committed and they know what they're committed to. Now, this is not a tent revival. Don't stand up, faint, confess, cry. But some of you are afraid to get the commitment and you're bringing uncommitted deals up to the management. You don't need to tell me, but you need to tell yourself. You need to be strong enough to say, let me be sure I understand the agreement you're offering my management. Nail these people down where they got no room to wiggle when you come back. Well, I need to think about it. Think about it. Hell, you didn't appear to be a moron when you came in here. No, that's not a word trick. But still, that's your numbers. You're not going to have these people wiggling out of their own commitments and saying they need to think about it if at this stage you nail down what the agreement is. Does that make good sense to you? And we're all professional salespersons here. We need to be able to have the fortitude to say, sir, let me be sure I understand this agreement. You're telling me that if my management can do this, this is the proposal you're offering us. If we can achieve all these things, regardless of how we have to do the math, you'll own the car now. Is that the agreement?
Yes.
Fantastic. Let me take your proposal to my management and see if it's possible. I don't commit to it. Let me see if this is possible. At that point, the manager goes to the back of the worksheet. Now, I'm going to bring the back of the worksheet over here a little bit. Now, at this point, my manager goes to the back of the worksheet. If I'm penciling my own deal, I go to the back of the worksheet. I have been known to go in the men's room and pencil my own deals. Boy, he's mad. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Okay. At 63 payments, 521 to 531 with only 2247 cash plus rebate or lease, $35 payments of 401 to 411 with only 1,127 cash. Let me talk about what I've done with the pencil here. The manager or you penciled the deal back. Okay, at 63 payments, of $521 to $531 with only $22.47 cash. First of all, what did I not bring to the back of the sheet? Price trade. It's not about the figures anymore. The agreement was based on payments, down payment, and rebate, right? So I didn't bring those figures forward in this example deal. Mr. Customer, my manager says we can do 63 months at $521 to $531. Now the customer wanted 60 months at $500. So I've got a 3-month bump and a $21 to $31 bump per month. And they wanted $1,500 down. I've got $747 additional down payment I'm asking for. So there's 3 key things I'm bumping here. I'm bumping the number of months, I'm bumping the amount per month, and I'm bumping the amount of down payment. If I got all 3 of those bumps, how much additional profit would be in the deal? How much? About. He said about $3,000. Let's take a look at how much profit I would have picked up had I gotten all 3 of the bumps. First of all, 80% of a payment is front side gross. So if I bump a customer 1 additional payment and the payment remains the same amount, instead of 60 months at $500, for example, the customer's, I'll go 61 months at $500. 80% of that bump would be front side gross. Well, in this case, I bumped 3 additional payments of $521. $521 times 3 is $1,563 times 80%. That's 24, 50, 45. That's $1,250 on the front. Just the 3 payment bump picked up $1,250 commissionable to you. Were you aware of that? Now, I also bumped 60 months at $21 a month additional. That's 1,260 times 0.8, 0, 48. 16 and 4 is 20. That's $1,008 additional front side gross because I bumped the customer $21 a month for 60 months. 80% is $1,008. Then I bumped the customer $747 additional down payment. That's all front side gross. You were right on. That's $3,005.40 additional front side gross. Did it look like that much? It didn't, did it? Were you aware of that, Steve?
Yes, sir.
You got to start thinking off the wall, out of the box. See, we all think 60 months, 66 months, 72 months. We think in exact months, 6-month increments. You got to remember, your bank will finance any number in between. Your bank will finance 61, 62, 63 months. Before you cut deals, see if you can add 2 payments. You know, Mr. Customer, now we're at 60 months. Let me see what 62 months would do. Before you go cutting your profit, start adding a month or 2.